This message did not reach you by coincidence. You were not scrolling randomly, and you were not led here by chance. God Himself orchestrated this moment. Heaven directed your steps to this exact point because your spirit was ready to receive a divine alert. What you are sensing right now is not imagination, it is instruction. This is a sacred communication, a quiet but intentional whisper released from the throne room of heaven directly to your inner man. What lies ahead of you is not ordinary progress. It is not just another decision or phase of life. It is a spiritual assignment, carefully timed and intentionally hidden. This next step is not designed for applause. It is not meant to be announced, explained, or defended. It is not for public consumption, social validation, or external affirmation. This move is private. It is confidential between you and God. What the Lord is about to do in your life is weighty, precise, and highly sensitive. And that is why He is requiring your silence, discernment, and absolute obedience. You have been praying for clarity. You have been asking for confirmation. You have been seeking direction and reassurance. Now that the answer is unfolding, God is giving you a clear instruction. Move forward, but speak to no one about it. Guard it, protect it, keep it hidden. This assignment is for your eyes only. Heaven is shifting something major behind the scenes. Though it may look quiet on the outside, the spiritual activity surrounding your life is intense. In the stillness of obedience, God will speak louder than any announcement you could ever make. Your silence will amplify His power. As we go deeper into this revelation, we will break it down into 7 sections so you can fully understand the weight, timing, and strategy of what God is releasing. Before we continue, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Not because this is entertainment, but because this message is divine confirmation wrapped inside spiritual instruction. This word is specifically for those who recognize deep in their spirit that they are standing on the edge of something holy, something concealed, something divinely ordained. And to everyone who has supported through Super Thanks, may God bless you abundantly. Your consistency, your loyalty, and your faith have been seen. They have not gone unnoticed by me, and they have certainly not been overlooked by heaven. If your spirit is bearing witness to this word, type 77 in the comments. This number is intentional. It is prophetic. 77 represents divine preparation, double completion, and the hidden instructions God is downloading into your spirit right now. It is a sign that you are aligned with heaven's timing. Understand this clearly. This next move is not for social media. It is not for validation. It is not for explanation. It is for obedience. God has placed something powerful in plain sight, but only those who walk quietly with Him will see it come to life. This is more than encouragement. This is an encrypted release from heaven. Return to this message whenever uncertainty tries to rise, because with every replay, another layer of divine strategy will unfold. God is teaching you how to move in silence while He works in power. Now let's go deeper. Section number 1, God trusts you with secrecy. Now that we are going deeper, understand this first truth clearly. God does not entrust sacred instructions to everyone. There are levels of revelation, and not every spirit can carry weight without leaking it. The fact that this message reached you is not random. God intentionally led you here because He has already observed how you handle what He reveals. You have proven yourself trustworthy in the unseen. You were shown things others were not. You sensed movements in the spirit before they manifested. You received insight, warnings, clarity, and even dreams, but you did not rush to speak. You did not announce it. You did not seek validation or attention. Instead, you held it quietly, like a disciplined soldier following divine command. And in that restraint, heaven paid attention. There are revelations you've carried that never left your lips, not because you lacked desire to share, but because your spirit recognized the responsibility attached to revelation. You learned that not everything God shows you is meant to be explained. Some things are meant to be stored, guarded, and protected. You understood that revelation loses power when exposed to the wrong audience. This is what separates you. This is what marks you as chosen. You didn't expose your vision to people who lack the capacity to honor it. You didn't release sacred insight into environments that would mishandle it. You didn't turn every prophetic moment into a post or performance. Instead, you wrapped it in prayer. You allowed God to confirm things in the spirit long before considering expression in the natural. That level of restraint is uncommon, especially in a world addicted to attention, applause, and visibility. But you weren't craving recognition. You were craving alignment. You outgrew the need to be noticed. You matured beyond the urge to prove yourself. And because of that, God knows He can entrust you with mysteries without fear of exposure. You became a safe place for divine instruction, a spiritual vault. Heaven examined your heart and found it clean, guarded, and loyal. That is not accidental growth. That is divine responsibility. And when doors closed that you once begged God to open, you didn't complain. Something in your spirit understood that God wasn't excluding you. He was protecting you. What appeared to be delay was actually divine discretion. What felt like rejection was heaven shielding what you carry. God was hiding you, not punishing you, preserving you, not postponing you. And what you carried in silence will speak with authority in its appointed time. You didn't resent the quiet season, you consecrated it. You didn't fight the hidden root, you honored it. You understood that God's greatest strategies are rarely announced loudly. They are whispered. And while others were making noise, you were taking notes. That is why the reward coming to you cannot be duplicated or fully explained. It can only be revealed. Spiritual secrecy is not about fear or concealment. It is about reverence. Sacred things lose potency when treated casually. And you treated God's instructions with honor. Because of that, God is preparing to trust you with even more. The next move He has shown you is deliberately coded in secrecy. It is not designed for public awareness. It is meant for private execution. Do not be deceived by the silence surrounding it. You are not being ignored, you are being entrusted. God is guarding what He is building in you because premature exposure invites unnecessary attack. Timing is critical, and secrecy is part of the strategy. Heaven does not release power through noise. It releases it through obedience. And you have shown that you don't need a crowd to obey. You only need God's voice. That is why your path will not always make sense to others. You are being led quietly, but with precision and authority. So remain silent, remain surrendered, remain ready. Section number chapter 2. The instruction will look small, but it is strategic. As you remain silent, surrendered, and ready, understand this next truth. What God is about to ask of you will not look dramatic. You've been praying for the visible breakthrough, the open doors, the undeniable connection, the moment that changes everything. And yes, it is coming, but heaven rarely delivers miracles in ways that impress the natural eye. God often conceals the extraordinary inside what appears ordinary. Do not be alarmed if the next direction you receive feels simple, even unimpressive. It may not resemble the size of the promise you're carrying. It may feel too common, too quiet, too small to matter. This is not the moment to reason it out or analyze it logically. This is the moment to respond in faith. Strategy often disguises itself as simplicity. The instruction may arrive as a gentle inner nudge rather than a loud command. It could be something subtle, a phone call you feel prompted to make, a seed you're led to sow, a conversation you know must end, a habit God asks you to adjust, or a boundary He tells you to establish. In the moment, it may seem insignificant, but in the spirit, it is laying groundwork for the supernatural. What you are tempted to overlook may be the very key heaven intends to use to unlock your next level. Remember, the ark did not look like salvation, yet it carried an entire generation through destruction. It appeared to be a simple vessel, but it was a divine strategy hidden in plain sight. David did not look like royalty, yet his obedience to deliver food positioned him directly in front of Goliath. That was not accident, it was orchestration. In the same way, this small instruction is not random. It is a setup. God operates by pattern, not by popularity. He speaks in whispers, not displays. He is not trying to impress your eyes. He is stretching your spirit. Because if you can be trusted with what seems small, you can be trusted with what is supernatural. This step may not be applauded. It may not be confirmed by people, but your spirit will recognize it even if your emotions hesitate. The instruction may be to send a message quietly, to write the book without announcing it, to move forward without a platform, To release a relationship that drains your assignment, or to exit an environment that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Others may question your decision, but heaven is celebrating your obedience. You were never called to be understood. You were called to be aligned. What looks foolish to people is foundational to God. What appears minor in the natural is sacred in the spirit. What seems quiet carries weight in the unseen realm. Angels already know what this act of obedience will unlock. Forces working against you are already shaken by your willingness to obey, and your future is being rewritten because of what you are about to do. Do not underestimate the power of this moment. This single act of obedience is positioned to shift the next 7 years of your life. Yes, 7. That is why 77 continues to surface. It is heaven's confirmation that your double portion is connected to quiet obedience and hidden instruction. This is not just another day, it is a prophetic window. This is not just a task, it is a trigger. You may not feel prepared, but the instruction is already timed. And the moment you obey, heaven will respond. So move, even if it feels small, even if no one claps, even if no one sees it. Move because God said so. This is the obedience that opens portals. This is the faith that rewrites history. This is the movement that alters destiny. Section number 3, do not post the process, protect it. As you move without clapping, without witnesses, and without explanation, hear this clearly. This is not the season to broadcast what God is building. In a world addicted to visibility, silence has become an act of radical obedience. While others feel pressured to announce every step, God is instructing you to guard yours. What He is forming in your life right now carries too much weight to be exposed prematurely. This is not a time for updates or public proof. This is a season of hidden development. The deepest transformations rarely happen in public view. Seeds grow beneath the soil, not on platforms. Life forms in the womb, not on display. In the same way, prophetic assignments are conceived and matured in secrecy, not in comment sections or timelines. Understand this. God is not concealing you to harm you. He is concealing you to preserve you. What He is shaping within you is still delicate, still aligning, still being strengthened. If it is revealed too soon, it can be misunderstood, attacked, or even cut short before it reaches maturity. Protection is necessary while the work is still forming. Consider Joseph. God gave him a clear vision of his future, a prophetic glimpse of elevation. But when he shared it before its time, it provoked betrayal. Had Joseph continued to expose the process, the pit could have ended his story. Yet God, in His sovereignty, redirected the pain into purpose. Joseph learned restraint. He stopped leaking the prophecy. He trusted God with timing, and he emerged not merely preserved, but positioned as a ruler. Right now, visibility is not your assignment. Silence is. Do not mistake being seen for being valuable. Quiet does not mean inactive. God is working powerfully behind the scenes, and He does not require an audience. He requires your agreement. You are in a season where secrecy is not avoidance. It is strategy. Protection is the priority. The blueprint God has given you is not for public discussion. It is for private preparation. Do not expose what God has whispered just to feel affirmed. Do not reveal the plan to quiet doubters. Do not open the scroll early out of impatience. What you are carrying is fragile, and fragile things demand privacy. Even Jesus, after performing miracles, instructed certain people to remain silent. Why? Because timing governs authority. Exposure without divine timing invites battles you may not yet be equipped to fight. Remember this truth. The enemy cannot attack what he cannot see. Hidden obedience disarms opposition. If you desire to move in power, remain concealed until God gives a signal. Not when curiosity rises, not when questions increase, not when impatience sets in, but when God says now. And when that moment comes, the release will arrive with protection, provision, and power. This next level of your life is not designed for applause. It is designed for assignment. And assignments require discipline. Guard your oil, hide your wisdom, conceal your instructions. Let your obedience speak louder than your announcements. Protect what you are birthing. This is holy ground. This is strategic movement. This is spiritual warfare. Heaven is observing how you steward what cannot yet be seen. If you can protect the process, God will reward it publicly in His time. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. And obedience in this hour means saying no to the post and yes to the process. Section number 4. Some anointed moves are never announced. As you continue choosing the process over the post in obedience over exposure, understand this sacred principle. Anointing does not require announcement. Some of the most powerful movements God has ever initiated were not introduced with noise, attention, or applause. They unfolded quietly in hidden places through willing hearts. God has never needed volume to make history. He only requires obedience. Throughout Scripture, the greatest shifts were carried out in secrecy. Esther did not step into her assignment through public declaration. She fasted. She prayed. She waited for divine timing. And when she finally acted, she did so with precision, not performance. That one quiet, accurately timed decision preserved an entire people. The power was not in visibility, it was in obedience. Moses did not return to Egypt announcing his comeback. There was no parade, no explanation, no promotion. He returned carrying a staff and a word from heaven. He did not need to be loud, he needed to be authorized. And Jesus himself, fully anointed, often withdrew from crowds after miracles and instructed people to remain silent. Why? Because the authority was never in publicity, it was always in alignment with the Father. Chosen one, God is calling you to move with that same holy restraint. This next transition will not come with spectacle, it will come with fruit. You will not need to justify your decision or convince anyone of its legitimacy. The anointing will validate it without explanation. Heaven's signature will rest on what you do, and those with spiritual discernment will sense that something significant has shifted, even if you never said a word. There is a level of maturity that is revealed through quiet obedience. It takes wisdom to move without seeking affirmation. It takes strength to execute without being seen. And it takes deep trust to obey when the full picture has not yet been revealed. But these are the moves that alter outcomes and redirect destinies. Think of Mary. The angel did not instruct her to announce her calling. He told her to conceive. Her most powerful assignment was hidden within her. She nurtured what God placed inside her in silence until the appointed time of delivery. The focus was never attention, it was obedience. This next move you are about to make will not be broadcast, but it will be fully supported by heaven. The instruction has been given directly to you, not to your circle, not to critics, not to observers. That is why it feels personal. Some assignments are meant to remain between you and God. The manifestation will be your announcement. The results will testify not just emotionally, but spiritually, prophetically, and permanently. The oil on your life will confirm what you never had to advertise. The doors that open will reveal what was formed in prayer, not popularity. You will not need to shout, your outcome will resonate. You will not need to plead, your fruit will speak. And when you do speak, it will not be from insecurity or need. It will be from authority, clarity, and fulfillment. God is protecting you from the distraction of being seen. He does not want you expending energy explaining what only heaven can unveil. He is not focused on likes or shares. He is focused on impact. And impact does not require a microphone. It requires movement. So release the pressure to announce. Stay low. Stay surrendered. Stay concealed. Let the oil on your obedience shift atmospheres. Let the power behind your silence ignite places words cannot reach. This next move leaves no space for ego, only execution. And God is about to use your quiet yes to create a loud, undeniable shift. Section number 5. This is a strategic detour, not a delay. As you continue to obey in silence and steward what is sacred, you may find yourself asking, why does it feel like nothing is moving? Why have doors been silent? Why has my progress felt hidden? Chosen one, hear this clearly. This is not a delay. It is a strategic detour. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you. What you are experiencing is not stagnation. It is divine redirection. You have not missed your moment. You are not being slowed down. You are being shielded. You are not overlooked. You are being overprotected. Consider the way a mother protects a child before birth. There is a sacred covering around what is still forming, around what is not yet ready to be exposed. In the same way, what God is building in your life is too weighty, too precious, and too transformative to be rushed or revealed prematurely. The familiar roads you used before are inadequate for what is coming next. If God allowed you to follow the same old routes, you would encounter the same patterns, the same battles, and the same distractions that could compromise your purpose. The glory God is preparing for your next move is sacred, and it cannot fall into familiar sabotage. That is why the pace has felt slow. That is why some doors have remained closed. That is why certain people have disappeared from your path. God is filtering your access. He is removing distractions. He is clearing the terrain so that when the time comes, the destination will not harm you. This detour is not random. It is a divine disguise. Your enemies cannot hinder a move they cannot anticipate. Your detractors cannot sabotage a blessing they are unaware exists. Some individuals who appeared close in your last season were actually obstacles in disguise. God took you the long route so that your spirit could be fortified. He is not just leading you to your destiny, He is protecting the delivery. Had you taken a shortcut, your spirit would not be strong enough to bear the weight of what is coming. Your discernment would not have been sharpened to recognize false support or hidden opposition. But now, through silence and stillness, you are being trained. You are being strengthened. You are being readied. When the moment comes to step forward, you will not be exhausted. You will not be drained. You will be prepared. God is controlling the narrative of your life. You will not need to defend your absence. You will not have to explain your silence. Every pause, every hidden step, every unseen season is intentional. When He says go, you will recognize that the long path was not random. It was revelation. It was protection. It was the heaven-backed way. Though it may be difficult to understand now, a day will come when you will look back and say, God, thank you for taking me the long way. Thank you for saying no to what I thought I needed. Thank you for hiding me when I wanted to be seen. Thank you for protecting the prophecy, even from me. So remain faithful, even when it feels like nothing is happening. Remain obedient, even when silence is deafening. Understand this, the detour is not a delay, it is divine direction. And when the season culminates, you will not just step into promise, you will arrive in peace, fully prepared, fully positioned, and fully protected. Section number 6. This move will reveal who's really for you. As you continue moving in quiet obedience and allowing God to orchestrate your path, understand this. Your silence is not just a command, it is a divine filter. The moment you stop explaining yourself, the true hearts of those around you begin to surface. When you stop opening the doors of your process to everyone, you start seeing who is genuinely aligned with you and who was merely benefiting from your access. Silence does more than protect your promise, it purifies your circle. When you stop oversharing, manipulation loses its hold. When you stop seeking approval, divine clarity fills your mind. When you stop giving free access to your journey, you gain a front-row view of intentions, yours and others. Some people were never aligned with your purpose. They were only there to benefit from what you offered. Your transparency fed their control. Your openness gave them leverage. Your access allowed them to form opinions without responsibility. Now God is calling you to withhold updates and seal your movements. And in doing so, the true spirits around you are revealed. Entitlement will show itself. Coldness will emerge. Resistance will surface. But this is not a loss. It is revelation. God is using this season of silence to test the hearts of those surrounding you. Those who grow cold when boundaries are set. Those who distance themselves when you stop justifying your steps. Those who accuse you of changing simply because you are no longer seeking their validation. You are not being rude. You are not being arrogant. You are simply aligned. And alignment always makes uncomfortable those who benefited from confusion or control. Chosen one, the next step is between you and God alone, not between you and followers, family, friends, or even your prayer partners. Certain instructions require no second opinion. They require obedience. Anyone unable to honor your obedience does not deserve access to your overflow. God's silence in your life is a sacred strategy to reveal unauthorized voices. He is exposing who truly honors you and who only stays close when it is convenient. He is separating those who were genuinely called to walk with you from those who clung to you out of curiosity, competition, or control. And he is doing this now, before the breakthrough, so that when your promotion comes, you are surrounded only by those who can carry the weight of your next level. Watch carefully. Those who truly love you will not demand explanations. They will intercede. They will respect your discernment. They will say, if God has instructed you, I will cover you in prayer, even if I don't fully understand it yet. That is alignment. That is kingdom loyalty. That is divine connection. Let this chapter accomplish its purpose. Clean your circle in silence. Allow God to remove what cannot remain. Do not chase after those who were only present when your path was predictable. Do not feel guilty for stepping back from those not assigned to your future. And never disrupt heaven's separation process just because it feels uncomfortable. Growth always involves pruning. You are not losing people. You are gaining clarity. You are not becoming distant. You are becoming distinct. You are not isolating. You are elevating. Elevation requires solitude, not spectators. This next move was never designed for the masses. It was created specifically for the mantled, the prepared, the spiritually aligned. Section number 7, silent obedience is opening loud doors. As you continue moving in solitude and alignment, know this, chosen one. Your quiet obedience is creating movements that are cosmic in scope. You may not yet see the full picture, but every private yes you whispered in faith is echoing through unseen realms. Your surrender in secret is shaking systems, dislodging barriers, and shifting structures that were previously hidden from view. While you prayed alone, fasted in isolation, and sowed quietly, heaven was working tirelessly behind the scenes. Rooting favor, unlocking access, and orchestrating divine openings that only obedience could release. Your hidden faithfulness has already triggered a public unveiling, and these doors are not ordinary. They are doors that announce themselves. They bring confirmation, acceleration, and divine positioning with them. Yet the remarkable part is this: you did not have to knock. Your obedience knocked. Your purity spoke. Your discipline negotiated. Heaven has counted every silent yes, every patient moment, every act of trust that you offered when no one else was watching. This next move is subtle, yet foundational. It is not about momentary recognition. It is about legacy. It is not about applause. It is about generational impact. True obedience builds permanence. It secures what is lasting, not what is fleeting. Your mantle is not a costume to wear for attention. It is a calling to govern. And calling demands more than gifting. It demands stewardship, maturity, and patience. That is why God did not allow you to post everything. That is why he kept you hidden while others were chasing popularity. That is why he said, "Not yet," when your heart thought it was time. What God is releasing through you requires preparation, not promotion. It requires stillness, not spectacle. It requires walking into spaces already filled with vision, not validation. You are about to enter rooms you did not campaign for. Opportunities will be offered to you that you never auditioned for. Blessings will arrive that you never had to beg for. Your obedience has purchased sacred access in the spirit. While others chased attention, you chased alignment. While others performed for crowds, you prepared quietly. While others promoted themselves, you prayed. And now heaven is rewarding the one who stayed silent long enough to be trusted. Soon people will ask, "Where did you come from?" But the truth is, you never left. You were being formed. You were not delayed. You were being developed. You were not overlooked. You were being overhauled. God ensured that your anointing would be anchored, not just activated. He had to guarantee that you were ready for the weight, responsibility, and authority of what was coming. Do not second-guess this open door. Do not fumble with explanations. Do not hesitate in uncertainty. Walk in with holy confidence. Walk in with quiet authority. Walk in knowing that this door was not opened by human hands. It was commanded by heaven. You did not manipulate it. You did not manufacture it. You simply matured into it. If you feel inspired by this prophetic message, Whether you want more chapters in this spiritual journey or a striking visual idea for a video or thumbnail, just say the word. I'm here and am ready to help bring your vision to life.